Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the Journey to Greatness. Day 56 of 365 with David McDonald, the GOAT. We are back in business. Well, I guess we were never out of business, but we are for sure back. All right. So to begin, we're going to get into our meditation routine. I will see you all on the other side. Welcome back, my friends, and top of the morning to everyone. AJ, good morning. Auntie Louisa, good morning. Al, good morning. Fatima, sister, good morning. Marcus, good morning. Al, stay strong. Remember that there's nothing bigger than you. In your mind, in the universe, in God. Can heal everything, but you have to be able to see the unseeable. Blessings, brother. I will see you all on the other side. We're going to get into our journaling routine. Today's 56. This is very annoying. All right. So, welcome back to the Journey to Greatness. Or, welcome back to the Journey to Greatness. Welcome back. Um, we just finished our journaling routine, and now we're going to get into our reading routine. So, I will see you all on the other side. All right. So we're going to wrap up here. We just finished chapter 13, the meditation chapter. And I read, just as we wash to remove yesterday's dirt from our bodies, we meditate to remove yesterday's stress from our minds. A meditation practice is one of the most powerful boosts to our physical well being, as well as to our mental and emotional health. It even helps us financially. According to an article published by the American Public Health Association, people who practice transcendental meditation spend 11% less annually on healthcare and than does the general population. Let's take a look more closely. I want to read this because I think it's really important. Let's take a look more closely at how meditation affects our work and earning capacities. Today's work environment is routinely stressful. Between the 24-hour blitz of often depressing world news and the economic anxiety rampant everywhere, many people feel like they're barely holding on. Dysfunctional responses such as overeating, drinking, and drugging to excess, and self-medicating through recreational or pharmaceutical drug use have become common responses to stress. Things are moving too quickly, and we simply weren't created for that. For millions of years, our ancestors toiled with their bodies, worked the earth, and sat around campfires in the evening telling stories. Now that sounds like a life that I enjoy very much so. um, but I'm grateful for what we have as a population now. They didn't fool around on the computer all day. Our challenge is to compensate for the wear and tear of the modern assault on our nervous system. With greater speed comes a greater chance that we'll make mistakes. We don't adequately think an issue through. We let fear rule a decision, digging ourselves an even deeper hole than the one we're already in. We fail to connect deeply with people and situations around us, leading to all manner of negative results. But there is a revolution in consciousness among us, and meditation is at the forefront. More and more people are looking to nutrition, yoga, exercise, spirituality, and so forth to counter the dysfunction and stress of the times in which we live. So let me connect the dots here really quick. Um, so we naturally live in a world that is constantly triggering stress and fear. Well, these two emotions or these two feelings are what pushes us uh, to survival mode. When we're in survival mode, then our ability to make accurate decisions, our ability to be in a positive state, are both affected and are all affected by these two emotional things that we're experiencing. And so therefore not allowing us to operate at our peak state. But see, the thing is we want to always be operating in our peak state. So what is one way, I guess, to reset the emotional balance that's within us from the things that we experience every day? We might disappoint ourselves, in our actions, or we might have bad thoughts about certain things. But or somebody might do something to affect our state. How do we push these things away? And one of the ways to do that is by meditating and living an intentional life. So everything that we do on the journey to greatness, I believe, is intentional. The books that we read, like season 2, for example, the focus is understanding the mind, training the mind so that we can be spiritually tougher, mentally tougher, and really open up what it means to explore our true genius. And so, um, this idea that, one second. Yeah, so that's frankly it for that point. Um, a lot of things are always happening. Oh, that was the other one I was gonna make. So there's always stuff happening, right? I was having a conversation with somebody yesterday, and they said, "Oh, are you watching the news? Are you seeing what's happening? Da 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 da. All this stuff is happening." Hold on, 1 second. The first question that comes to mind is, do you not know that miracles exist? I understand the numbers and all this, that, and history and all this, that. History repeats itself, right? All these cliche statements that a lot of people don't even know what they mean. And we say them all the time, the benefit of the doubt. Um, that is one thought. There are an infinite amount of other thoughts in the universe. So although we may temporarily be experiencing something, and you may be looking at something through this lens, I'm not, I can't allow myself mentally to fall into that state. So what do? I say, I acknowledge, I receive, but then I discard. And I say, what is the plan? Is anything going to change? And my answer every single time, what I come back to is no, God is great. And I know that my productive capacity, because I'm focused, that everything that happens to us in this world is for a reason. And as cliche as that sounds, right? But it does. And we have to take responsibility for it. And that is what it is. We learn from the past, and we learn from how other people may not, how other people have fallen short. And that's okay. We don't judge. We just take and we mentally develop some of those tools, and create some of those mental tools that allow us to make it through our current situation. But at the end of the day, that is just one opinion. When you plug in, you tap into one person, that is just one opinion among the infinite amount of opinions. That person's opinion, that person's perspective is shaped based off of their either limitation or limited or unlimited mindset and the way that they live their life. Um, and so every time I hear somebody talk about something, then I hear what they have to say, and if it doesn't align with like what I feel is correct, then I take what I can and I discard the rest. And at the end of the day, I realize and always come back to I anchor myself to this one final thing. It doesn't matter what the hell is going on in the world. It doesn't matter. And when I say it, not to say I don't care about it, that's different. What I'm saying is, it doesn't matter what's happening in the world. We are always able to create a reality of abundance for ourselves, and the better and the more that we are anchored in love and in positive gratitude and just optimism, and really not just saying it, but like really be like, oh no, no, like this is who I am. Like this is what it is for me. And the more we can positively affect those horizontally to us, right? The people that are around us, and spread that message. That will be the minute that everything around us, out in the public world anyway, can begin to change. So with that being said, don't be frightened, and don't be fearful of anything you see on the news, you see here. Just focus in on you, right? Love yourself unconditionally. Continue getting to that knack. Continue getting to that. It doesn't matter. All this stuff can be taken away. At the end of the day, the only thing that matters is that you have yourself, and then everything else that you feel is important to you that's not material. And for me, that's my spirit. That's my soul. I have that. I'll always have that, despite anything else. And all this other stuff, whatever it is, you can always get it back. Yeah, it's going to be a journey, but you know, what is it? Um, so always come back to that and send love to that situation. The more of us that send that energy of love, the better we're able to correct the things that are happening around us. Um, as a student in the Course in Miracles, I read one book lesson every day. I think I'm going to go buy that, actually, A Course in Miracles. Marianne Williamson, the author of this book, keeps bringing it up, and it sounds like something that's pretty cool. Into his presence I enter now. I am at home. Fear is the stranger here, or whatever it might be, And while I can't say that the practice guarantees I'll be the best version of myself all day, it absolutely keeps me from being the worst version of myself. I wish everybody out there the best day of their lives, to have the best day of their lives. Walking through life like that every single day is a lot more effective than saying, "Oh shit, I gotta get." Oh, excuse me. Sorry. Walking through life like that every single day and saying, "Okay, I'm gonna have the best day of my life today." um, I gotta get through my. I want to have the best day of my life today, rather than, oh crud, I gotta get up this morning and I gotta do this routine and I gotta go to work and I gotta do this and all these things are happening to you, rather than being grateful that you can even wake up, that you can even have the productive mindset to think, to even have those dang thoughts. You should be grateful, or we should be grateful, right? So fear is a stranger, and we can't allow it to dictate the way we live our lives. I'll be the best version of myself today, right? I'll be the best version of myself. I am the best version of myself today. I might have negative thoughts or feelings, but the chances of my acting on them are drastically reduced. And it's not something that I would suggest that you just say one time. If you say it one time, like, I think you'll profess and you'll continue to see these things show up all day long. But like, I'm in my head, and when I say I'm in my head, I'm not like moving thoughts around so much. Well, actually, I kind of am, but I'm actually like paying attention to my thoughts all day long. Like, I tell myself I'm the greatest of all time all day long, like, and I share that space with everybody, right? So like, let that not be mistaken ever. And I know that I am a loving man. I know I'm a loving person. Like, I know I am nice. I know I am kind. I know I am patient. And I say these things to myself like all day. And I'm always self-correcting my thoughts. If I have a thought about someone or I have a thought about something that I don't think that does not align with who I am, then I discard that thought and I replace it with another thought of love and abundance. And so it is something that it's called conscious living for a reason, right? You're not just allowing things to move you. Like, you're paying attention to the messages and to the people, the things that you're receiving. Um, hey Sarah, good morning. What does it say? Fear of my life is one of my biggest challenges. Well, that's strong, and I would say that, not to interject or get off this track here, but that's strong, and I hear you. I acknowledge you, and thank you for sharing. I think in moments where we feel that, um, that is something that we say is the biggest challenge, the first thing that we have to do is restate our language or rephrase our language. Fear is, and we don't want to focus on what we don't want. So our natural reaction would be to say, well, fear is not our biggest challenge, right? Um, that would be the immediate, like, pump the brakes, stop. This no longer continues. I'm not my past any longer. To another switch of language to say, I am fearless. I am fearless. There is nothing that can stop me in this world, and I will continue moving forward by any means and all means necessary. Say that to yourself every single morning. You write it down, put it on your wall, on your bed. Doesn't matter, in your car, on a sticky note, or on a postcard. I am fearless, and there is nothing in this world that will ever stop me from doing or achieving my dreams, period. And it's just saying that every single morning, and that perceived challenge, and it's not to downgrade, but that idea or this feeling that you have of fear, and that's not just you. I mean, that could be vastly spread over a number of things, because we all have fears, right? But it's a matter of having a constant state of fearlessness that will allow us to not allow our fears to pull us back from breaking through the floodgates of success, financial abundance, spiritual abundance, and characteristic abundance. So whatever that's worth, you can choose to accept or disregard, no problem at all. But thank you for sharing. I see you. So the benefits of meditation go beyond de-stressing the mind. Meditation actually expands the mind. It gives us insight and illumination. It builds wisdom and compassion. It goes a long way toward making us the people we wish to be. So When I'm in deep meditation, I am mentally seeing myself like where I know I am inside. Like I don't say it a lot of the time, but there's so many things that I see for myself, for my family, for my friends, for the world, and like those things are real. I hold them, tried and true. Like I hold them at a really high regard. So when I'm meditating, I am able to reach a space mentally that my reality might not currently be supporting. However, it will. I assure you, it will, because mentally we have the power to create that. But you have to see and connect with that emotion of whatever it is that you wish to see happen in your reality. When you connect with it emotionally, and it's a feeling that you accept and you embrace, then you will see a change in everything that happens around you. So meditation is a really cool tool. What matters is that we daily do whatever we can do to realign our thoughts with the mind of God. We do this every single day. We do this every single day. And it's all anchored in love. It's all interwoven with God's DNA and the universe's DNA. And I feel that the journey to greatness, the only thing we have to do, come back to you guys, I was talking to my niece and my nephew about this, is the art of forgiveness and the art of love. People will take your kindness for weakness. Pause. We don't want to accept that reality. Occasionally, I have experienced in the past where I've been really nice to people and they've abused my kindness. But currently, mentally, I live in a world or in a space where that doesn't happen. And so I anchor myself in love and kindness, and that's how I choose to live my life. And that is through daily practice, I'm able to always come back to that place. And that's why meditation is important. Prayer is a conscious request that our thoughts be shifted by a power greater than our own. This shift from ego thinking to spirit thinking is a miracle. A serious prayer, life is a mental orientation, an attunement to God throughout the day. So prayer is a conscious request that our thoughts be shifted by a power greater than our own. This shift from ego thinking to spirit thinking is a miracle. The universe is like a house wired for electricity, but too often we are like unplugged lamps. Prayer is the way we plug into the divine, aligning our thinking with the love that infuses all things. And then finally, last but not least here, we have prayer expands our consciousness, thus expanding the set of possibilities that we experience. As we saw in an earlier chapter, when our attitude is negative, few opportunities arise. This is not because opportunities don't exist, but because our negative attitude and energy blind us to them. You might be sitting at lunch one day next to a woman who can provide you with a wonderful work opportunity, but because you're going on and on about how rough things are and how tough it's been for you, it doesn't occur to her to engage you in a conversation about professionally moving you forward with her. I'm not even going to continue that one. I'm pretty sure everybody knows where that's going. So, be positive and keep to yourself, to a degree. This mind again, this mind thing, the mind with all of the messages, with all of the feelings, with all of the emotions can sometimes feel overwhelming. Okay? Sometimes it can feel overwhelming. I get it. Be careful who you plug into though, because all the answers are right here. They're right here within you. They're all within you, right? And it all just comes down and it just recycles, and this energy just continues to flow through you. Be careful who you plug into, because those things that you're figuring out in your head and that you're figuring out in life, when you plug into somebody who has a perspective that may be totally unaligned with what you're about and who you are, where you're even going, that could potentially add more stress. So and I say that to pull out of that lesson. So yeah, you're being negative, or people are being negative, and they're sharing their stories. And so the person that you work with doesn't want to think about promoting you anymore, because you obviously don't know how to handle your stress, whatever that means. But the more important thing, I think, to that is, don't be negative and don't be a sourpuss. But also, like, be careful who you plug into, and be careful who you're complaining to, and understand that all the words that you're complaining and that are coming out of your mouth are actually structuring the reality that exists around you, which is furthermore putting you into a deeper situation that you are currently in. And so work these things out. The answers will come. I promise. Work them out, though, first internally. If you need a perspective or a third opinion, then obviously reach out. But I wouldn't. Never mind. I won't even say anything more on that. Let me see. Today is the 26th, right? Am I crazy? No, I'm not crazy. Stupid question. Am I crazy? 26. Nope, I'm not crazy. So your best you ever. So to conclude, we'll read our passage. Today is the 26th. Ha! Check this out, you guys. Check this out. So faith versus fear is the title of this passage as we conclude. Fear not, for I am with you. But be not dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you. A terrible storm rose quickly on the Sea of Galilee, and the disciples were afraid. Although they had witnessed many miracles, the disciples feared for their lives. So they turned to Jesus, and he calmed the waters and the wind. The next time you find yourself facing a fear-provoking situation, oh man, I hope she's on right now. Sarah, are you with me? Are you with me, Sarah? Listen to this. This is wild. Okay. So everybody, I want everybody to know right now, this is a miracle session right now. Like this is what I live for, because the truth will always find a way to affirm itself at one point or another. So hopefully Sarah's still on, because this is exactly addressing what we just talked about. The next time you find yourself facing a fear provoking situation, remember that the one who calmed the wind and the waves is also your personal savior. Then ask yourself, which is stronger? Al, I hope you're on too, brother. Exactly what we said earlier. There's nothing bigger than you, and that you have the power to change all of this in line with God and the universe. Then ask yourself, which is stronger, right? Which is stronger? Your left ear and the pain that you feel, or everything else, God in the universe and your mind? Then ask yourself, which is stronger, your faith or your fear? The answers should be obvious. So when the storm clouds from overhead and you find yourself being tossed on the stormy seas of life, remember that wherever you are, God is there too. And he's not only there, you're an extension of him. We are extensions of him. And so that means there's nothing bigger than us, because we are sons and daughters of God, period. And I don't believe anything lesser to be true. God is there too, and he cares for you. You are protected. The Lord Jesus, by his Holy Spirit, is with me, and the knowledge of his presence dispels the darkness I never seen that word. And allays any fear. Bill Bright. Oh, excuse me, allies any fears. No, that's not. Hold on, you guys. Sorry, I got this vocabulary check. One moment. A lie, a lay, to diminish or put at rest. A lay, a lay. Yeah, allay. All right, so we just learned a new word, allay, which means to diminish or put at rest, fear, suspicion, or worry. I like that. So let me read this not the whole passage, but let me read this small section again. The Lord Jesus, by his Holy Spirit, is with me, and the knowledge of his presence dispels the darkness and allays any fears. Got it. When we meditate, oh man, this is great. When we meditate on God and remember the promises he has made, um, excuse me. Sorry, I'm taking back. This session is wild. When we meditate on God and remember the promises he has given us in his word, our faith grows and our fears dissolve. His promises include us living a non-suffering life, living a life of total abundance, living a life of pure happiness, living a life of pure fearlessness, living a life of everything positive and great that we can think about for ourselves. We are able, that's what we're meant to live. That's the life that we're meant to live. But it all starts up here. A lesson for the heart and soul. Everybody faces obstacles. Don't overestimate the size of yours. And that's facts. A lot of the times what we do is we create, like if something happens, we create a scenario that's so much bigger in our heads. But again, we have to remember what we focus on expands, yes. And not only that, I keep saying this because for me, it even comes up all the time. And I have to always remind myself, there are an infinite amount of possibilities in this world. And I think it goes like there's multiple levels to understanding this stuff. Because like say you have person A, right? And you trust that person like hell. You're like, man, this is my best friend, or this is my life partner, and I trust them. Or my father or my sister. And every single time this person is giving me advice, it's been right? This person is awesome, A grade, excellent. So that trust and that perspective is there, right? And you see it and you know it, you're familiar with it. I think it gets intricate because oftentimes we associate that same feeling that we would associate to that person to someone who may connect with us on a similar level as this other person, as person A, right? So now you got person B. So you might actually plug in that person A and they support all of your dreams, everything, right? But who only has one best friend? Or people like, for example, I believe that we can cultivate relationships, best friend relationships in a matter of minutes. And that all comes from a person being aligned with who you are. And then over time, that will go deeper and deeper and deeper as the truth and these alignments start to profess and show themselves up in reality, right? And then eventually that person becomes a best friend. But initially, just off of the initial interaction, maybe spending some time together with new people, you can build that type of camaraderie with that person. Now, but that this level for person A, this level, this side of excellency, we apply that to people that we hardly even know occasionally, or people who we may feel are immediate connection, but and then we start plugging into them, right? And we don't give the relationship any time to blossom, right? We just kind of lay it all out there. And I've been in these situations because I meet a lot of people on a daily, especially like in the past when I was living consciously, but not as consciously as I am now. And you plug into people and you trust them. with things, whatever it is, with being in your space, with doing this, with doing that. And what I found is infinite ideas, right? Infinite possibilities. Is we plug in because we trust. They earn our trust, right? And when you plug in, when they say something to you, you receive that message with the same excellence as this person A that you have deemed, awesome and great. That you're like, everything that they say to me is trust. But then their ideas for person B may not be the cleanest or may not have the best intention for you, but they've earned your trust. And so now these things are pouring into your head in terms of what to do, how to think, how to respond, how to be, whatever it is. And so I think on a daily, there's opportunities potentially for us to get things confused, because even with the person A that we trust exceptionally, even they have bad days, right? So at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if it's person A or person B. When anyone in this world, even me, obviously, right? Because I have a good day every day, but there are times, pause, but there are times when, I get frustrated. And when I get frustrated, just as a side note or a side tool, I learned this from my brother Daoud. When you say you get frustrated, or you say, "Oh, that's frustrating," what you're actually doing is you're putting a label on that thing that you're thinking about. So then, therefore, you're making it real. So when I say frustrated, it's a state of, "Ooh, that's hot. I don't want to touch it." Like you gotta change that thought, and then you gotta switch your emotions up. But anyway, nonetheless, I get frustrated, right? Pause. There's times when I get frustrated, or I don't really want to talk, right, to anyone except for myself. And so it doesn't matter who it is. It doesn't matter how good it looks like they have it. It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, when somebody provides their perspective, you hear their perspective, but that's just one out of the infinite amount of perspectives that there are. And our minds think, because they have these trusted positions, right, that everything that they say is gold. And although it might be a lot of the time, and you might align with that energy, if it's something positive, it's not something really to worry about. But if it's ooh, man, that's real bad, or ooh, that's a real big goal, or you know what? I don't know. Everybody says that, this process is hard, or man, you have so much stuff going on though. You're always busy. How can you manage that? You don't have any time for yourself. All those type of conversations, which are absolutely get away from me. But what I'm saying here is that can sound convincing at a time of stress. That can sound convincing during a time of chaos, or not being organized. And what I'm suggesting here is the universe has so many. Okay, last story, and I'm done. I'm gonna get off of this thing. Okay, so I was talking to one of my buddies, right? He's getting ready to close a transaction. And he called me. He said, "Dave, I'm a little concerned right now. This is what's happening." He told me this scenario, and I was like, "What? That's stupid." Or that doesn't make any sense, because I used to do finance, right? So I know a lot about the finance when it comes to real estate. And so when he told me what the reasoning was, he told me that pretty much the loan got declined by an underwriter. What that means is not approved. And so I said, okay, look, this reason I don't feel like is justifiable if you take it up the chain. But he goes, yes, I know. So the second underwriter is going to look at it. And then I was like, okay, cool. So then loan gets rejected, right? In my mind, I'm like, that doesn't make any sense, because it sounds like everything would work out, in terms of the numbers, this, that, and the other. But then again, I'm not an underwriter. So I said, okay. So when we hang up, I was like, look, you got to understand, you have to know that this thing is going to get approved, and everything is going to continue to go well in this transaction, and you're going to help this family close on this house. But you have to mentally know it, and you got to feel it. You got to feel it, right? He's like, okay, boom. So we hang up the phone. He calls me back. He goes, Dave, the second underwriter rejected it. And I was like, what's the reason again? Right? This is like a few days later. So what's the reason again? He tells me. I was like, there's no way. I was like, there's absolutely no way it's going to get sent up again. Watch. You'll see. And he goes, okay. So I said, you have to absolutely know that you have just successfully helped this family buy this house and everything's going to work out fine. Okay. Hear me out, you guys. I hope everybody, man, this is wild. And I watched this happen right in front of my face. Boom, we clicked up, or we hung up. I said, okay. Okay, the third underwriter got it, right? What ended up happening was the person's girlfriend and then another person who was on the loan, her boyfriend, had to get on the loan with them to get them approved all within like 3 or 4 days, because there's like a certain period in time where you have to wait when you have new people come onto the loan, right? You have to wait a certain amount of time. That's the law. So like it's not rushed. And so everybody knows what they're actually doing, what they're getting themselves into. Now, and then so those people jumped on the loan. They had to, there was like a lien or something on one of the person's numbers. And what ended up happening was that lien, come to find out, should have been taken off like 8 months ago. And then so that person was paid back. That helped with the ratios and the numbers. And then what ended up happening is everybody was on the loan. And then all these, that debt was erased. And then they actually got money back. And then they ended up closing on the house. Please tell me, please somebody tell me, did I know that was going to happen in that way? No. Mentally, I didn't even think about it. Could he have known? Heck no. Could anybody out there have known? No. Nobody out there would have known that would have been the outcome and that family would have closed on that house. Period. But imagine had he called me on the phone and I was like, you know what, man? You're probably not going to get it. That sounds like a real challenging situation. And if the first underwriter says, oh, man, you're not, shoot, you might as well throw this one down in the can. Tell the family, I'm sorry. I'll try to help you find another one. Or we got to wait, 8 months. Imagine if I said that to him the first time, the second time. So be careful who you plug into, because not everybody has your best interest in mind. And be mindful and be visual, understand and see that. And then understand, going back to that one thought, we all look through a lens, through like this, right? We got these experiences, things that built us up to this point, but we have to understand that person that we hold in the highlight, that person that we think that we hold in the highlight, we have to be mindful that there is an infinite amount of possibilities in this world. So when somebody lends a thought to us or lends an opinion, that's great. That's their opinion. We shouldn't shut it down. We should receive and then reject whatever it is that we don't want. And if it's the whole entire message, we can just throw the whole thing out. But if you want to have a dialogue about it, well, we have to disagree. We have to agree to disagree on this, because I don't believe that that's the reality I'm going to share with you. And you speak that out loud and you tell people, like, I don't agree with that person or with that mindset. And so I'm not going to align with it. I'd rather consider a mindset of X, Y, and Z, and you can change that. And that is totally okay to do that mid-conversation. But do you see how, like, this idea that these two people right here are affecting my life and direct influence on my life is absolutely absurd, because there is, like I said, an infinite amount of ideas and possibilities that we cannot mentally fathom that can bless us. And that's where miracles happen. But we have to open ourselves to them, and we have to be ready, and we have to know everything that I just pretty much said in a nutshell is fact or is a truth in this universe that's forever, truthful and loving. So with that being said, man, I'm getting out of here, you guys. Merry Christmas. I'll see you tomorrow at 5 a.m. Peace and blessings. No, all right, guys. Have the best day of your day today. Thank you for joining me, day 56 of 365 with David McDonald, the GOAT. And I will see you tomorrow at 5 a.m. Peace.